The Lord promised better things for us, okay? Because the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, has a favorite people. And he's going to give this favorite people a heavenly kingdom. A kingdom that's blueprinted and formatted and patterned after his mind. How he would want a kingdom to be.
Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom.
Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Bahasham, Rakah, Ladash. Double honor to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to the hopeful elect of Israel. Shalom. Shalom to the elect. The main benefit of the kingdom of heaven. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Now, who are the we, according to his promise? It's the nation of Israel, beginning with the elect. And this is dealing with the promise that the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, bestowed upon our forefather Abraham. And not Abraham only, but his descendants. You have that lineage of promise that would go from Abraham and will be transferred unto Isaac and will be transferred unto Jacob and then transferred upon the 12 patriarchs, the sons of Jacob, whom we descend from, and we believe this through faith, according to the Spirit. But says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, which is a refreshed earth, a perfect earth, a clean earth, an earth that's in order, going into the Lord's Prayer on earth as it is in heaven. So that's what we hope in, which is really the only hope. But it says, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. And what's the righteousness? The laws, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father. So there's going to be a new rulership. And not only new, but everything is going to be perfect, man. No more wickedness in the earth. No more rulerships of the heathen. It's just going to be the Lord's people in power. All right, it's going to be throughout the ages. But this is the only hope, man. Now, I want to go from there to Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord, Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua, with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed, nor confounded, world without end. So it's going to be a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, but it's going to be without end. And that's the main benefit. And ultimately, everyone's going to benefit from it. Beginning with the nation of Israel, but also the heathen too. Okay, they don't have to suffer the, the result, I'll say, of being under a wicked ruler. They don't have to deal with the consequences of being under a wicked ruler because everyone suffers under Edom. Read verse 18. For thus saith the Lord, that created the heavens, power himself that formed the earth and made it. He have established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. So that's the point. And it says, I am the Lord, whose name is Yahweh, and there is none else, because he's the source. But the earth, the planet Earth itself, was not made for nothing. It wasn't created in vain. It was formed to be inhabited, but also, it's a certain way that it needs to be run, because the earth is really a paradise, but the scriptures is the guidebook on how to live on the earth. And that's what we need established. And like I said, that's the main benefit of the kingdom of heaven, which really this is, inspired from the lesson that the elder brothers of M.A.A.D did, speaking about how, we're going to have the, the different perks of the kingdom, you know, brothers think about, having a lot of servants, which there will be slavery in the kingdom of heaven, because slavery is how Esau Edom's kingdom was built up. All right, so we're gonna have slaves. We're gonna have, the best of everything. We speak about how the streets are gonna be paved with gold, the way the buildings are gonna be built. Brothers are gonna have acres of women, and all these things are good. But beyond that, it's about a righteous rulership, man. A throne being established in righteousness, which will be the throne of David. Okay, the house of David. And that's going to be perfection forever, man. Perfection forever. And all you're going to know is perfection. But at the same time, the balance is you're going to understand good and evil. And we have to learn evil on this side in order to appreciate righteousness, the righteous way. That's how brothers are going to be able to judge. Now this is 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 52. For yet a little is a little while, iniquity shall be taken away out of the earth, and righteousness shall reign among you. So that's it, man. And you read in Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, Micah, the 4th chapter, which really saying the same thing. Speaking about how in the last days, the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. Basically, the governing body of the nation of Israel is going to be over everything, beginning with Yahushua and King David. Then you're going to have the 144,000, okay, and the 1/3. But dealing with that government, which is going to be on the shoulders of Yahushua. Because really, hey, man, he carried us on his back, man. You think about what he did for us. So it's only right that it begins with him. But everyone's going to have to acknowledge this new power structure. Just like everyone acknowledges Edom. Because the nations are going to see iniquity taken out of the earth by the judgments of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua. Everyone's going to see it. And at the end of the day, everyone's going to bow. They're going to bow to this rulership, man. Philippians chapter 2, verse 10. That at the name of Yahushua, every knee shall bow, of things in heaven and things in earth and things under the earth, and that every tongue shall confess that Yahushua Mashiach is Lord, to the glory
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushua, Bahasham Kapadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and then sincerity across the four winds. In the name of Yahweh Basham Yahushua, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. All right. And what I want to get into today, morning news and prophecy, okay, is, watching this video, and there was something said in the video, how about, they're turning America into a big data center. Okay. And you have all these, mantras, surrounding, the Trump presidency. He campaigned off what Make America Great Again, MAGA. All right, he campaigned, with Robert Kennedy Jr., okay, of Make America Healthy Again, MAHA. All right, and none of those things, okay, are panning out. Okay, Trump, like we've been saying, he's the biggest bait and switch, okay, that the elites have pulled off. Okay, because he campaigned, to be this champion for the traditional, American family, the working class. All right, the unforgottens. He was supposed to be this hero against the deep state, as they call it. All right, the elites. He was supposed to free America from, the control of these corporations. okay, and the shadow government, as they say. All right, but he's done the exact opposite, man. Okay, he's delivered you up, okay, fully to the elites. All right, and what we're going to see, okay, more and more, all right, is more psyops, more agendas, okay, more executive orders, okay, that only favor the agenda of the elites, okay, and destroys, okay, you American citizens, okay, hence the term M.A.A.D. All right, make America a data center. All right, that's the real agenda. Okay, it's really because day one, okay, that's the first thing that he signed off on. Okay, is AI infrastructure. Okay, and a major part of AI infrastructure is what, the data centers. Okay, so prepare to see, a lot of, all right, resources. Okay, your tax dollars and, okay, your light bill, going up. Okay, to fund, all right, this mad, all right, movement, all right, which is making America a data center for AI infrastructure, man. Okay, now let's get some precepts, and then I got a video I want to get into. Now, when you go here, all right, this is a Matthew 24. This is in the AMP. Okay, now this is Matthew 24 and 11. It says, many false prophets will appear and mislead many. Okay, so we know, all right, there's false prophets amongst, Christianity. There's false prophets amongst even those that know that they're Israelites. Okay, and we can't forget about the false prophets in Esau, Edom. Okay, which they have these tech guys, telling you, okay, how beneficial AI is going to be. AI is going to do the work, to where you can go enjoy your hobbies. Okay, you're going to get this UBI stifling, and AI is going to produce so much goods, and, that you get, all right, to benefit off the production of AI. AI works for you. Okay, it's going to free you up. It's going to create this utopia. So you're going to hear a lot of misleading, okay, fantasies when it comes to AI. All right, and how these devils want to push, okay, the AI is going to create a utopia, all right, for the common people. Okay, and that's one of the major false prophets, okay, of this time is Esau, and these tech giants lying about, what the future look like for the common person. And so this all right, technology is biotech, you know, for to increase your health, all right, to be able, to read, okay, your bio measurables, okay, to detect, certain things earlier for the chance of successful surgeries and treatments, and okay. So he's just gonna constantly push, all right, this digital technocracy. Okay, he's gonna mislead many in believing that this is a great thing. Okay. And really what it's leading to, when you jump down in this same chapter, okay, is Matthew 24 and 21. All right, it's in the AMP. It says, for at that time there will be a great tribulation, pressure, distress, all right, oppression. All right, so pressure, distress, and oppression, all right, such as has not occurred since the beginning of the world until now, nor never will be again. So here it is. This is the worst time. We're coming into the worst time that's going to be recorded in history, man. Okay, but he's telling you that AI is leading to utopia. Nah, man, this is coming to a time of tribulation because the Lord is finna judge. And Esau, remember, there's a depopulation agenda attached to this. This is the part he's not telling the people. Okay, he's telling you the wonders of AI going into his lying signs of wonders. Okay, but he's not telling you the depopulation agenda. Okay, he's not telling you that these data centers need a lot of resources to operate. Okay, and he will sacrifice millions of people for more data centers. That's how this man thinks. Okay. So you mix Esau's ambition, okay, and the judgment, that the Lord has coming to the earth, man. We're coming to a time of great tribulation. Okay. And this is the part, all right, that's being left out. And see, with Esau, Edom, he's just a tool that the Lord is using to judge. Okay. The devil, all right. I say Esau, Edom, he's being used like a throwaway weapon in this time. Okay. But this devil's wicked ambition is going to destroy many. It's going to cause a lot of distress and oppression. Okay. It says, and if those days of tribulation had not been cut short, no human life will be saved. But for the sake of the elect, the Most High chosen ones, the elect of Israel, those days will be shortened. Okay. So the Lord's going to have to intervene to shorten the time. Okay. And cut this devil off from his wicked ambition, because he would destroy everything. Okay. What he's trying to pull off, Esau don't got this figured out. See, Esau jump on the TV and put them goofy niggas like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel, and you look at these Edomites like they just got it. This nigga don't got it, man. He guessing at a lot of this shit. Certain shit, he just turning the on switch on. He don't know what it's gonna do. Okay? So this man has to be stopped. All right? Esau's a child. Okay? A child is not fully aware of the consequences of their actions. Okay? A child is reckless, man. Okay? So this man, all right, has reckless nature about himself. Okay? And the Heavenly Father is going to have to intervene. Like the scriptures say, no flesh will make it. Everybody will be done. Okay? If the devil was left, okay, to his own devices, man. Okay? So let's go here, then we'll get into the video. Let's get this in the book of Psalms, chapter 55. All right, so right now what we're seeing with this devil, all right, through all these different outlets, all right, his media, okay, his sorcery, okay, as he's speaking smooth words. Psalms 55 and 21, it said the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but his heart, all right, but his heart was hostile. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. Okay, yet they were drawn swords. Okay, so his mind is hostile towards you people, but he's gonna constantly push these smooth words. Okay, to get people to buy in. Okay, but this new world order is hostile towards people, man. It's hostile towards the masses. Okay, this man is not in the, you see, Esau got you thinking that he just in this lab coat, losing sleep, trying this and trying that, trying to figure out how to better humanity. No, this man is figuring out how to control you more, how to oppress you more. Okay, how to regulate life in a very tyrannical way. Okay, and he sees his AI, his technology as a way to do that. Okay, but he's going to feed you what these smooth words. Okay, but ultimately this new world order, this digital, okay, technocracy is extremely hostile towards the masses, man, especially towards you Israelites, man. Okay, so let's go from there. I want to play this video. All right, which it says Trump has sold. All right, just sold America out. All right, for big AI. Yeah, man, you Americans, and it's beautiful. All right, you wicked, proud, okay, Americans. No one is working for you. Okay, the economy doesn't work for you. All right, the government doesn't work for you, Democrats or Republican. Okay, you see, the infrastructure doesn't work for you. Nothing works for you, man. Okay, your food supply doesn't work for you. Everything, all right, that you can think of is supposed to be an aid or a benefit. okay, to your American people. It doesn't work for you, man. Okay? No, nobody is concerned about, all right, the well-being of the American public. Okay? It's all a sham. We'll be the ones to tell you that it's all a sham. All right? So said Trump just sold Americans out to big AI. So let's play this now. The little chick, Kim Iverson, she's kind of a airhead. She said some few things here and there, but the guy that she's interviewing, he's going to be on point, with things that he's saying. She's, one of those ones is optimistic, by those smooth words, okay, in America and AI, being used for good. And, she's optimistic about, America continuing on and getting through this rough patch. All right. And she's kind of a, airhead, kind of look, she a little left behind when it comes to what's really happening. But the guy she's going to interview, he's going to be on point with a lot of things that he's saying, so let's play this.
Well, while everyone in Washington is busy obsessing over foreign countries and culture wars, something huge is happening right under our feet. OpenAI's Operation Stargate is rolling out across the country, sold to us as harmless, critical AI infrastructure, when in reality, it looks a whole lot more like a land grab. These massive AI data centers are swallowing up farmland, bypassing local governments, jacking up water and electric bills. Apparently, these buildings are very thirsty. They take up a lot of water. They price out rural families, and they create almost no jobs in return. And somehow, big AI has managed to sidestep every politician standing in their way, including Republicans who are cheerleading this thing as economic development. Meanwhile, our kids are growing up in an AI-run world that's making them less creative, less expressive, more disconnected. This isn't progress. This is a hostile takeover dressed up as innovation. Tonight, we're going to break it all.
And that's one of the, the main points, that she would say that this is a hostile takeover, disguised as innovation. And this is exactly we just read that. His words were smoother than butter, but his heart was hostile. Okay, so the innovation of those smooth words. Okay, more convenience, more efficiency, more productivity. Okay, it's like he just got this bright future plan. Okay, for the masses, but nah, this is a hostile. Okay, takeover. You know, but it's a mask. With smooth words like innovation. Okay, so let's play some more.
Down, we're going to be joined by Shane Cashman, the host of Inverted World Live, who's been investigating exactly how this AI land rush is happening and what it means for the future of America. I think we've all learned the hard way that when tech companies say they care about privacy, they really don't. Alexa listens to your conversations. M.A.A.D track sounding the alarm on this, because I think many of us need to know more about how AI might be taking over in ways that we don't even realize. Like, we already see it taking over our lives and getting involved when we're online, but now there's actual physical ramifications to the development of AI that you are sounding the alarm on. Tell us about these data centers. Like, what is the problem with them? Where are they cropping up? How big are they? Why do they take so much water? I've heard that they take a lot of water.
Yeah.
I'm like, the computers are thirsty? Like, I don't understand.
So they get very hot. The machines get very hot. So it takes a lot of energy and water to keep them cool. So they can drink up to millions of gallons of water a day. I mean, it's
but what do you mean by that exactly? Like, how does
for
that?
the cooling, for the air conditioning?
For the air conditioning.
Yeah, because they get so hot and there's so much energy going into them that they use that much water. And on the energy side, they can use up to, in one day, the same amount of energy as like 400,000 electric cars. So everyone in the periphery of the data centers is seeing an increase in their water and electricity bill because they're basically funding the data centers around them. So that's like one of the things that first tipped me off to how these things are affecting us physically.
So people, in these areas or these data centers are seeing an increase in their light bill. Okay. What type of madness is this? To where here it is, people, getting paid by the hour, are funding projects of billionaires, man. That's crazy. Instead of these major tech companies that's using, because you might have an AI, you might have a data center to where Facebook, Google, okay, and SpaceX is using this same data center. So you have all these companies, be using one. You have multiple billionaire companies using one data center. All right, but the expense is forwarded to the common people. Okay, that that's wicked. That's cruelty, man. That's insult to injury. You see, but this is what this devil is doing, man. And these are the things that should cause uproar. Okay, but when they was talk about canceling TikTok, that's when everybody wanted to, there was this tension, of civil unrest because of TikTok. But this devil was able to roll out data centers, charge you for it, destroy the environment. All right, and there's no major outcry. There's no protest. Okay.
and monetarily, and where they're popping up everywhere. The whole country is turning into one big data center. So like Trump's second day in office was when I knew this was all over for our farmland and for the middle class, because on his second day in office 2.0, he held the Project Stargate announcement, which had some of my least favorite people on the planet were there. Larry Ellison, Sam Altman, so that's Oracle, and the guy behind ChatGPT. And they announced this $500 billion package they were going to do together to accelerate AI. And the second I saw that, I said, "This is we're over." And Trump sold out the middle class and the American people to Silicon Valley, whom I detest. And what they're building in terms of the AI, like, look, I understand how AI can be a good tool for people.
Sure.
I don't use it. I don't like it. But I understand how, like, okay, we can collaborate with it. However, it is feeding off of all of us. So when it comes to like jobs, when it comes to training the AI, when it comes to creativity, we're outsourcing a lot of this to the AI. So that I have a problem with. But then when I started to notice the data centers that are now happening where I live and all over the place in Virginia, there's Data Center Alley. I started talking to people, asking them like, "Oh wow, that's actually destroying farmland." So I thought of AI as this one kind of abstract issue where it's destroying creativity, it's destroying identity, it's destroying jobs, which they say themselves. The people building this death machine say all these things. Altman, Elon, Thiel, they all say, "Hey, we might have to rewrite the social contract, because AI is going to literally flip everything on its head." But then I'm like, oh, it's also actually going to destroy the landscape. And we already have a farming issue in this country. Like, I love farmers. I grew up on a farm. I love farming. And I already saw the death of farmers happening for the past decade. They couldn't afford their machinery. They couldn't afford to compete against a lot of the big, giant corporate farming companies. They couldn't afford fertilizer. So a lot of them were going under. And I started to notice a lot of legacy farms, these places that have been there for generations, dying. And that was really upsetting to see that just end. And then the land was getting bought up by a lot of like overnight houses, I call them, those things that just McMansions that like grow out of the ground. I don't even know how they're going to last for 20 years. But then on top of that, I was seeing articles and hearing from people locally that a lot of this farmland is being bought by shell companies that are like working for places like M.A.A.D. So when the shell companies come to town, they're saying, "Hey, we want to buy up this farmland. We're going to do like a warehouse thing." And they circumnavigate the politicians, and the locals don't know about it. And then suddenly, if you do a little bit of digging, you're like, "Oh, it's M.A.A.D, and they're building a giant data center to train their AI and to also scrape all of our data, because it's like a vampire that leeches off of all of us." So, I just see these things as they're completely going to mutilate the landscape. They're taking over the farmland and farmers have been attacked and destroyed by Silicon Valley forever. Because they're basically the antithesis to each other. An example of that would be someone like Mark Andreessen. They were trying to buy farmland for one of their network states in Northern California. And the farmers actually said no, which I respect. And they turned around, Andreessen and his cronies turned around and said, well, we're going to sue you for not being willing to sell to us. It's a whole thing that's going on over there. And it's happening all over the country and the world, so much so that they're already gaming out what's going to happen when we run out of space in the world.
And that's what we spoke on the other day, and then just to rewind it back. So they're intentionally buying farmland and turning them into data centers. Okay. So they're intentionally destroying farmers because they do not want people to have the ability to feed themselves in this new world order. They want people to be completely dependent on them. Okay. They want you to be GMO foods only. New world order, it will be GMO foods only. Fake meat. All right. They talking about the bugs and man, this will be look, hey, what this man is getting ready to do, the reality of what he's getting ready to do, okay, compared to the fantasies he's selling people is night and day. Okay. You see, people think that they're just gonna have, more technology and it's gonna enhance the world that they live in now with the conveniences they have today. No, when it says a new world order, this man is rolling out a completely new system of how to do things, man. Okay. But he's intentionally buying farmlands, putting data centers on the farmland, which destroy the environment. Okay. He wants to get rid of all these rural farms. People have been going to the marketplace lately. The devil knows that people have been going to marketplaces and uh, people have not been going to grocery stores as much as possible, man. Okay. People are going back to marketplaces. People are starting to grow their own. And no, man, that's why that's not the solution to what's happening. That's cool, because I'm all about getting the best or the worst in this, in this situation we in. Okay, but that's not the solution, man. Okay. So farmers are under attack, okay, by these big corporations to the point to where he said a farmer didn't want to sell and these big corporations sued the farmer. How is that even a lawsuit? Because I don't want to sell you my farmland. All this land that's unused that you can build a data center, but you want to build a data center on my farm. Okay? This is the devil. And like he's finna get into, they're already prepared to not have enough resources to run these data centers in the earth. Okay? That's why they're talking about putting satellites into space, data centers in space, data centers in the ocean. Okay, and we talked about that the other day, that these devils already have it calculated that they not gonna have enough resources in the earth, millions, because these data centers get so hot, man, that it takes millions of gallons of water daily to keep it cool. Okay, so what this devil is trying to pull off, he don't got it figured out, man. That's why it's gonna be so destructive and tacky. Okay, because this nigga is guessing at a lot of these things that he's doing. He's not the most high. He don't have it figured out. Okay, to try to be omnipotent and omnipresence, he's not equipped to do that. He's swinging. He's aiming. He's what they call it. He's swinging out of his weight class, man. He's punching out of his weight class. Okay, and that's why it's gonna be so disastrous. What this devil is trying to do. Okay. So let me see. I'm gonna rewind it back just a little bit. Okay.
And they turned around, Andreessen and his cronies turned around and said, well, we're going to sue you for not being willing to sell to us. It's a whole thing that's going on over there. And it's happening all over the country and the world, so much so that they're already gaming out what's going to happen when we run out of space in the world. And they're like, what can we do in space? Can we build a data center on the moon? There's articles out there about how they're building things that will be launched into space, data centers that can be launched into space that will assemble themselves. So I see this as like a Borg, that we've built this invasion that we need to stop. It's very dangerous to everything about humanity. And I really I worry about the people who are going to just completely be destroyed by all of this, which is everyone eventually.
It does feel like the Borg, or which is a Star Trek reference, if anybody's a Trekkie out there, or it, or you know, like the Matrix, right? I mean, it really feels like, and once again, movies predicting the future. You know, what if, and we see this time and time again, and we watch the Matrix and we all love the movie, but then what if that's actually the future because we built this AI? And as you've said, you know, it's learning from us, it's training off of us, it's feeding off of us. So what would stop it in the future from being able to figure out how to build itself, how to, like actual physical machines, how to actually build itself and build? Yeah, I mean, that is, if we make it so smart, I mean, it's already smarter than us.
It is.
I mean, already. So,
I don't think we've even seen how good it can be.
And it is not smarter than us. All right, AI can't be smarter. Okay. You know, this devil has just created, you know, a system. And that's why they need these huge data centers. Okay. And it's just a collection of all the information in the earth. Okay. Being centralized. Okay. And then it's able to, he got a computer code where it recognizes questions. Okay. And it pulls an answer from this big pool of data that it got from humans. So it's not smarter. It can't be smarter. Okay? You can't be smarter than someone that you have to depend on. Then it's not a living, AI is not a living soul. Okay? It's a computer system. Okay? If people stop, if they shut down all the data centers, if they say, okay, today let's unplug all the data centers. Okay, you couldn't ask Google anything. You couldn't ask Chat GPT anything. Okay, it wouldn't be able to generate no answers. If you unplug all the data centers, they wouldn't be able to generate no answers. Okay, but that's one of, you know, the lies of the devil, as if AI is just, you know, this godlike, you know, entity. No, man, it's a magic trick. Okay, can it be useful? Can it? Yep, yes. You know, it can be useful. You can use it. We use it all the time. You know, we use it as a tool for teaching. All right, but even with the net, you know, we have to proofread it. Okay, we use you know, the chat, you know, whatever, Grok, whatever, as a tool. Okay, but even with that, we oversee the AI. You know, we're not just depending on what AI spits out. No, it has to be overseen in the spirit. The spirit has authority over AI, man. All right, that's why brothers are able to, all right, to you know, to filter, all right, facts from falsehood. Okay, but no, AI is not smart. Okay, it's just he's dumbing people down. All right, we're going to get into that in a minute. Okay, and that uh you know, he got these data centers that collect, all right, and centralize all this information. Okay, for the AI. You see.
I think the government, like they usually do, they build something in secret and they have it for themselves. For a long time, they kind of feed us a little bit here and there. Because I don't think the AI we have now is actually that smart. I as someone who's been very critical of AI for years, I've only recently started trying to use it because I felt like the guy who was criticizing a movie but never saw it. So like, I'm going to ask it questions. I asked it about history. I asked about like journalism and stuff. And like, it's only Grok. I've only ever used Grok because I'm not paying. I've never used ChatGPT. I just can't do too many. I think it's ridiculous. But it lies all the time. It gets things wrong all the time. It's hallucinating, and it has actually made up entire quotes about people. Like I did a show recently, and a lot of people on the panel were kind of dismissing a lot of Candace Owens stuff, and they decided to ask Grok about it. Grok straight up lied, straight up made up a quote about Candace. And I was like, I've actually watched most of her stuff, and I know she never said that. And I asked Grok about me, and it made up quotes. So I don't really think AI right now is dangerous in terms of it's taking over. I think it's a potential. Right now, the problem is the data centers moving in and taking up everything so they can feed off of us in the land and the water and the electric. And also at the same time, people literally sacrificing themselves to the machine. So even though the machine's not smarter than us, maybe some people are basically outsourcing all of their creativity, their work, everything to the machine. So by the time the machine does get smarter, we'll be dumber. And then it's easy to collapse. Like people, there's that book that came out recently, If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies, which is it's kind of a dark book, but it's just one possibility. And they say that it could get to a point where it becomes super intelligent, which is what all these people talk about, the possibility of that, Elon, Thiel, Altman. And that when it gets to that point, it'll start self-replicating itself through nanotechnology, these little bots that will just eat up the world. So, that's one way to look at it. Elon himself has said that it could go Skynet, which makes sense to me because Elon's also just got the deal to do the Golden Dome for this country, which is going to be the American version of the Iron Dome. So we're going to give this guy trillions of dollars to build the surveillance state, which is what they've all been doing already for 30 years. And now he gets all this money to build that with his spaceships, with his satellites, rather. And what do you think is going to happen there? What's going to happen is they're going to consolidate all their power into Silicon Valley's technology, build out the surveillance state to a dystopian degree, and then we'll have a social credit system like China, they've been rolling that out for a while already, and that is the future. So there's various different issues with where this is heading in terms of people, perception, reality, landscape, security, privacy, and it's all coming out. It's all going through these data centers. They need the data centers to power it all.
The data center is the battery pack of AI. It's the brain of the AIs, the data centers, which they're gathering data from who? All right, from people. Okay, which people get intelligence from where? The Most High. You see? So he's trying to duplicate the Most High with his AI, man. Okay, it's a big magic trick. You see? He's a witch. He's a warlock. All right, and because what AI is also doing, okay, let's go here real quick because there's a lot of cognitive damage, all right, that's happening, all right, to people's mind by being overly dependent on the AI. Okay, it says yes, over reliance on AI can negatively impact cognitive functions like encouraging cognitive offloading, which can erode critical thinking, memory, and independent reasoning skills. This happens because using AI for tasks that require deep thought can become a shortcut, leading to a decline in mental effort, okay, and the atrophy, okay, of cognitive abilities over time. Because the mind is a muscle that has to be exercised, man. And that's why we use the AI tool, all right, as a tool, all right, but we don't offload, okay, our whole, responsibility of thinking to the AI like a lot of people are doing. A lot of people are just offloading, all their thinking responsibilities to AI. So it's dumbing people down. Okay, so as people are dumbing down, AI, is learning more from people, through patterns, through algorithms. Okay, the devil, he pushes this boast as though AI is just, running off, from the masses. Okay, so this man, he's damaging people's cognitive functions, their ability to critically think, problem solve, to reason. Okay, and then you have these data centers, which is destroying the environment, man. So this man's new world order is very destructive to the earth, man. Okay, that's why, as we read, no flesh should be saved. Okay, it destroys people. Let's say cognitive. It destroys the environment. And using all these resources, and like I said, he's trying to duplicate the Most High. All right. and he's catching hell trying to imitate that. Because let's go here real quick. Let's go here real quick. That's why I say we use AI, but brothers, be mindful. For you sisters that use the AI, don't you know don't all right be overly dependent on it. To where you can't function without it. That's why it's good to read. Just keep brothers keep reading. You know, um, study. Like when we first came in, AI wasn't a thing. And we had to study. So we use it because things are moving quicker. So it is a way, to get concise information, to complement a lesson. Okay, but if it get to the point to where you can't put a lesson together without, AI, then it's like that's overly dependent. You see. So this is Isaiah 31:3. It says, "Now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High." Okay, and the Egyptians are modern day Americans. All right, and ultimately this government, okay, of America. All right, is because America, this is the place, that will boast itself the most against the Most High. Okay, it says, "And their horses, all right, their military are flesh and not spirit, and the Lord will stretch out His hand, which is Yahweh Shai, and He Egypt, okay, who helps will stumble, and He Judah, all right, our people that's in league, okay, with this system, that have faith in this system, okay, who is help will fall, and all of them will perish together." Okay, so what you gotta understand, the fact that these data centers are overheating. Why are they overheating? Because they're trying to duplicate the human brain. You gotta think about it, and this shows you how powerful the Most High is. Here it is. He's trying to duplicate the human brain, but he's finna run out of resources on the earth to even try to pull it off. Okay, but the human brain functions naturally. It don't destroy the earth. You see, the way that we able to recollect, like even like with the AI prompt. You see, because with the prompt, you type scenarios in and you use, okay, you can use a video, okay, and it'll create a prompt. Well, we can do that unlimited. You can imagine anything. You can just go all day and just be imagining things. Imagine it. You can create scenarios. You can be this, you can be that, you can be doing this, you can be doing that. You can just create all these scenarios in your head all day. Okay. You're not overheating. Okay. You don't need millions of gallons of water. All right. To come up with ideas and okay. But here it is. This man has these big, huge data centers that are trying to replicate the human brain, and they're overheating, which shows you how powerful the Most High is, man. He's trying to imitate the Most High, and he's catching hell. Okay, Esau don't got this shit together, man. He's overrated. Okay, the gig is up. Okay, so when you look at this devil, okay, trying to replicate the Most High's creation, okay, which how the brain operates, thought and memory, and to create. Because see, you can create. You're not pulling from a data center when you come up with an idea. Okay, it's all inspiration from Yahweh Bashim Shai. Okay, now on the left hand, you got wicked thoughts. Okay, but on the right hand, you got inspiration from Yahweh Bashim Shai. Matter of fact, let's get there, especially when you're in the spirit. Okay. You see, because you can just conjure up thoughts unlimited. You can just have thoughts after thoughts after thoughts. Okay. But see, with this data center, as people are asking these questions, it's being overheated. Okay. He's spending trillions of dollars trying to imitate, okay, what the Most High, all right, created in the beginning. Okay. This is what I want to get. Oh yeah, Wisdom of Solomon. Let's go here. Let's get this in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter. He saw a fraud, man. You know, he's a con artist. All right. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, and verse. Uh, okay, this is Wisdom of Solomon 7:24. It says, "For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no undefiled thing fall into her." Okay? So that breath, that Rakakwadash, that Holy Spirit is a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Okay, and that can't be duplicated, man. He's trying to duplicate, okay, the Most High. He's trying to have that pure influence flowing from him. He can't duplicate that, man. He's far from it. You know, he's gonna destroy the. He would destroy the earth trying to pull this off, man. He would destroy himself. Okay, that's why the Lord has to intervene. Okay, on his dumb ass trying to do this, man. Showing you that he's not wise, man. The fact that he's still trying to do this, and Esau knows the complication that he's running into. Okay, but his pride got him still trying to pull this off. Okay, you see. So, let's see. I think, brother, this is the brother, the hopeful elect 3. All right, the brother Yahweh. Isaiah 40:28 says, "Has thou not known?" This Isaiah 40 verse 28 says, "Has thou not known? Has thou not heard that the everlasting power of the Lord, the Creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary. There is no searching his understanding." Okay, the Most High not overheating. Okay, they need millions of gallons of water and no, man, this devil is, man. Okay, because he's a fraud. He's an imitation. You see, he's a knockoff. All right, but he present, that this technology is this it's a lion sign and wonder, man. The scriptures say. All right, it's a lion sign and a lion wonder, man. All right, Isaiah 40:29, it says, "He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might, he increases strength." And that's for his elect in these times, man. You know, and we're not going to need all this in the kingdom, man. We're going to be walking data centers, man. Okay, each brother is going to be like, like a massive data center with all type of information and knowledge and understanding, and it's just going to flow. All right, it ain't going to be like this madness this nigga got going on, man. Okay, so let's play a little more of this video, a few more minutes, and get a couple more precepts. Okay, well, don't look at Esau like this nigga just this great Dundada in the earth, man. This nigga fraud. Okay, all right, a clown at best. Okay, so let's play a little more of this.
Most people right now, when they think of AI and the danger of AI, it's the job loss. These are going to replace humans and we won't have jobs. And then you've got Elon Musk saying things like, "Oh, we won't need jobs or currency in 10 to 20 years because AI is going to be doing everything." And so everybody's just going to, work is going to be optional and money is going to be optional. And it's like, we're going to waste away as humans just laying on the streets doing drugs. Humans are meant to be productive. We can't just not be productive. I mean, part of me, though, I then think, well, maybe this will lead to a renaissance. Maybe we'll be embracing more art and more music and more beauty, and we'll kind of have a renaissance era like Italy had, and maybe we'll have that and we'll start making really beautiful things. I mean, that's a possibility that we sort of shift our energy towards that. But I think right now people are mostly concerned about the job loss being replaced by robots. Yeah. But you're saying there's more, I mean, and I hear you, then the next layer of thought is what I was thinking, which is, yeah, like what if we create the Matrix, or like you said, the Borg, right? What if we create that? And then suddenly the robots are bossing us around. I mean, even Elon has proposed police officer robots, right? That, well, for prisoners, he's saying, what if we just got rid of prisons and we just had a robot following the prisoners around to make sure they didn't commit crime? It's like, okay, they're going to make sure they don't commit crime, but all the rest of us too. And then, like you said, they get it wrong. I mean, you're right. You have to fact check AI right now all the time. It's hard. You can't rely on AI for actual facts.
Yeah, I think these people actually hate humans. They pretend that they're doing this in service of humanity.
These people hate humans, and that's exactly right. That's exactly accurate. All right, they hate life. Okay, these devils hate life, man. You see, they're anti-life. Okay, that's why he's saturated the earth with death. You see, these people hate life, man. But they're promising you utopia through technology, man. No, man, this is just going to be more death. All this devil can do is bring death into the world, man. Okay, what's that? Revelation 6:4. All right, if a brother can post it, all right. But there's a accurate statement, and this is someone who's just studying this nigga. He might be an Edomite more than likely, but you study, how they're moving, and it's like you come to the conclusion this nigga hate life. Okay, you see, even I think that's Proverbs, is it 8:35? They that hate me love death. Okay, and we know this devil is the biggest anti-messiah in the earth, and he loves death, man. He hates life. He hates people. Okay, it's the brother Kazakh and Howler Sirach 14:7, and it says, and if he do it good, all right, he do it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness, man. And he's herding people into the digital trap. All right, and as he establishes thing, then you will start to see his wickedness unfold itself. Okay, and that's how the devil operates, man. Now we're seeing the results, like even going back to, okay, the crack epidemic and feminism. See, now the results of that. That's the devil declaring his wickedness, what it was all about. Government assistance for the women, feminism, and now we're seeing the wickedness of what he was doing. All right, y'all, because at first we thought, okay, this devil was doing good. He cares. Has this concern. Okay, no, it was always wickedness from the beginning. Okay, it just takes time for his wickedness, all right, to bear fruit. Now we're living, okay, in the wickedness, okay, of this man calling himself doing good. Okay, he's not meant to do good. Okay, the scripture tell you right here, Revelation 6:4, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. Okay, this is the assignment of Esau. Esau's on his assignment to take peace from the earth. Okay, it's impossible for this devil to create, all right, righteousness and fairness, and to be just and have integrity. He can't do that. That ain't his assignment. Okay, and people are constantly disappointed because they expecting this nigga to do something that's not in him to do. It's not in him to do right. His soul, which is lifted up, is not upright within him. That's how he's wired. Okay. And you think, like say she Kim Irish from Pope thing talking about some, this can create a renaissance and we can get into, the arts again. And no, okay. That's not in the plans. Okay. It says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. All right, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword, man. And this man has weaponized everything. Okay. All right, this man has weaponized everything, man. Okay, I say from the food to your music to our relationships to the school system, this AI, all of it is weaponized to destroy you, man. Okay, to take peace from you. That's what he's been tasked to do. All right, this is the hopeful leg 3, the brother Yahweh, Proverbs 8 and 36. But he that sinneth against me wrong his own soul. All they that hate me love death, man. And there's no one that hates Yahweh more than Esau. Okay, and he loves death. Okay, that's why his whole kingdom is built on him pushing death. Okay, his technology is rooted in taking peace from the earth. Okay, not to make your life easier. He'll present it as if that's the purpose of technology, but ultimately the true purpose of his technology is going to be shown more and more as this devil unravels. Okay, this digital prison, man. Okay, disguised as a digital utopia. Okay, but let's rewind it back. Like he stated facts. All right, that was an accurate statement he made.
Crime. It's like, okay, they're going to make sure they don't commit crime, but all the rest of us too. And then, like you said, they get it wrong. I mean, you're right. You have to fact check AI right now all the time. It's hard. You can't rely on AI for actual facts.
Yeah, I think these people actually hate humans. They pretend that they're doing this in service of humanity and to make a better future. I think that's a complete lie. And they've also, the politicians are lying for them, left and right. You know, like I've seen politicians saying the data centers are going to bring more jobs to the area. That's a lie, because data centers, the biggest one I think has maybe up to 200 employees. Maybe I think it's 120. And typically it's like around 20 to 50. So these things, after they're built, they don't have lots of jobs to offer the community, and they're probably not going to bring in locals to run them. So there's nothing good about them, in my opinion. And I really worry about the future of the farming and just the middle class in general. And I agree with you. It would be great to see a renaissance. I don't think a renaissance is going to happen through that type of scenario. I think renaissance has to be born out of, there is a struggle and there's unfortunately human suffering, but some of the great art does come out of, like, there's a struggle there. And if we just built this quasi utopia, it sounds like communism to me, the way they sell it to me. They're like, everyone can be a poet, everyone can paint. How does that work out whenever they say it? It works out with like mass famine, but this will be different because it'll be governed by a cold robot that they've built in their image. So I don't see any
that they built in their image. Okay, so this AI is a major part of the image of the beast, and he's trying to rewrite and re-engineer existence in his image. Okay, and it's gonna get to the point to where you're gonna have to take that mark, that charagma, okay, to operate within this image of the beast. Okay, so if you're worshiping this man's technology, his system, his economy, okay, his politics, his, you know, the culture of, entertainment and party and kick it, if you're worshiping this man's image, okay, this is going to sound like an upgrade for you, man. Okay, and just like he said, he's building this thing in his image. All right, if a brother can post it in Psalms 73 and 20. Okay.
But some of the great art does come out of, like, there's a struggle there. And if we just built this quasi utopia, it sounds like communism to me, the way they sell it to me. They're like, everyone can be a poet, everyone can paint. How does that work out whenever they say it? It works out with like mass famine, but this will be different because it'll be governed by a cold robot that they've built in their image. So I don't see any good to it. And they don't want people creating. They want people using their machines to do the illusion of creating. And everything is under attack. Like you mentioned, the police robots. He did say that. He also wants babysitter robots. He says all the time, everyone's going to want a robot in their house. Like, I don't even want a fridge with Wi-Fi, right? Like, I don't trust this stuff at all. But like he's also said this is Elon. He also wants to have artificial womb factories, where robots can have a womb and then they'll give birth to the kid. So you don't have to do it anymore. Okay, that's insane. So now it's an attack on
Crazy work, man. All right, this is complete madness, man. A womb factory, man. This nigga don't got it, man. That's a child. That's childless. That's a child like okay, you know, that's childish as hell, man. A womb factory. Okay, woe to thee, O land, when thy prince is a child. Okay, a womb factory, man. This is what this devil is doing with all this technology and power he got. This is his vision, okay, for the earth. A womb factory, man. Okay.
you want a fridge with Wi-Fi, right? Like I don't trust this stuff at all. But like he's also said he wants. This is Elon. He also wants to have artificial womb factories where robots can have a womb and then they'll give birth to the kid. So you don't have to do it anymore. Okay, that's insane. So now it's an attack on motherhood, literally. And like Ellison is talking about the surveillance state. Everyone will be on their best behavior because we'll be recording everything. This is not good. I mean, for those of us, I was young when the Patriot Act was happening, but I didn't like it then. I understood like this is a total invasion of privacy. We shouldn't do it. This is like Patriot Act on crazy steroids. You know that you won't be able to escape. That's why it has to stop. Hopefully.
Okay.
And it is going to be stopped. All right. And it's going to be through the spirit. Okay. And the judgment of Yahweh by M.A.A.D. Okay. Yeah. So the devil is, okay, going to be stopped. All right. So let's put this up. Get a few more you brothers got, you know. Yep. So he is going to be stopped, man. And that's our hope. You know, that's where the comfort of the scriptures come in. Because as you see what the devil is doing real time, and it's like, God damn. You know, but this devil going to be stopped, man. Okay. And the Lord, we serve a righteous power. And the earth wasn't created, all right, to be on the digital tyranny. Okay. Forever, man. Nah, man. Okay. The Lord's getting ready to intervene. All right. And as Esau is, you know, just catching hell, fumbling and stumbling, you know, trying to establish his madness. The Lord finna judge this man. All right. This is Psalm 73. Okay. And 20 says, as a dream when one awaketh, so, O Lord, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image, man. Okay. So the Most High, all right, is despising this man's image, what this man has, all right, produced in the earth. Okay. His you know, his the way that this man has established, okay, and orchestrated and coordinated society, okay, what this man has established as a culture, okay, as a way. All right, the Lord hates this shit, man, and He's finna show that He hates and He despises their image, their resemblance, which they rebirthed their Greco-Roman Empire, which was anti-Messiah, okay, which was proud, okay, you know, which was lewd. You see, so they revived this, you know, this Greco-Roman Empire, which the Lord despises, man, and they plan on making it digital and trying to make it forever, man. So you know the Lord feels. Here it is. The Lord hates wickedness. Okay, He hates Esau, but Esau like, I'm finna double down. I'm finna set this up forever. Okay, so the Lord finna show you that He despises what these devils, all right, have built and what they're trying to build going forward. He's going to show that He despises them through destruction. Okay, this is the book of Job 11 and 20. It says, but the eye of the wicked shall fail. Okay, the eyes of the wicked shall fail. Yeah, his vision for this new world order is going to fail. Okay, it says, and they shall not escape. And he's going to captivity, man. This is what the Lord got planned for the heathen, man. You know, you Israelites got to the finish line and trying to make it seem like it's gonna be a light thing that's finna happen to the heathen. Okay, Like they just finna get a job at Walmart. Like it's gonna be like getting a job at Walmart in the kingdom for the heathen. No, man, the heathen finna be punished, man, because these heathens are in cahoots with Esau. The scripture put emphasis on the wicked and Esau because he's the ringleader of the madness, man. Okay? But none of these heathens gonna escape for being in cahoots with this man. Okay? The elites of these heathens, they're gonna cause their whole nation to go into captivity, fooling with Esau, man. Okay? Being a conglomerate of Esau, man. Okay, so this man's vision, his intentions for the earth are going to fail, and they shall not escape, and their hope shall be as the giving up of the ghost, man. All right, the Lord finna kill this shit, man. Okay, well, this devil got, what he trying to pull off, okay, in the earth, man. Okay, the devil is finna loose, okay, and the Lord finna kill his dreams, like they say. All right, the Lord finna destroy this man's dream. So, that was the point. Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles, all right, and the elders, GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully, Shalom.